I'm Assassinator, and we are back with our third episode of my Stellaris tutorial. And this will probably be the final episode for the tutorial, but not for the series. This will move into a Let's Play right after this episode, where we'll actually play the game, and I can teach you everything little by little, and explain it more thoroughly as we go along. This episode we're generally going to go over this menu on the left right here, where I'm going to explain what all these tabs do. So first, let's go ahead and jump right in and start with the contacts. So the contacts are just going to be anybody and everybody that you meet throughout the galaxy. They'll show up right here in this list. Now, of course, we haven't met anybody, so that's why it only shows us, because we don't know that there's life out there yet. It'll show you their status with them, their relative power to you, whether or not they're in a federation, and whether or not they're at war. Right over here on the left-hand side, this will quickly go to your capital planet. As you can see, our leader, our founding species, human. Yeah, I don't think that's our leader actually, because our leader, yeah, that's our leader. So this is our founding species. It looks like they just put a generic female there. And then our government type right here. Next, it shows how many colonies we have, or planets that we control right here. And the empire population, which is 24. I don't know why it says 0. But if you hover over it, it says humans 24. And then our diplomatic status. And then, of course, we can communicate with any new persons that we find. All right, so next we have the situation log. This is where you'll get any of your quests or, certain event chains, anything that you need to research from science, as far as your science ships and discoveries and stuff, will all show up right here in your situational log. So these are all things that you will have to take action for at some point in time. Now, down here at the bottom, we do have tabs. Next, you have your anomalies, which show any anomalies that are in your system. They will pop up right here. And then victories, how you win. So as you can see, rank 8, score 169, score breakdown, and it gives you a number for each score that you have, or everything that you've accomplished throughout your career. And it says on January 1st, 2500. As you can see, it's 2200, so 300 years. The unidentified empire will win the game. So as we get closer to that date, we will definitely see who that is. All right, so that's the situational log. Yeah, okay. So now our market. Now this is fairly simple and straightforward. If you want to buy 100 minerals, then you could buy it. It tells you it costs 70 energy credits. You want to buy 200 in food, it'll cost you 70 energy credits. Energy credits not tradable. So this just shows you the different things that you can buy for a certain amount of energy credits if you're running short on anything. You can also sell as well too. So if we take a look, minerals again, you could buy 100 minerals for 130 energy credits, or we could sell 100 minerals for 70 energy credits. So you got buy or sell. Over here you have automatic trades. If you are producing something, just mass producing, let's say you're mass producing minerals and you really don't need it, but you're really short on your money, go ahead and just do it automatically monthly trade, and it'll automatically sell off a certain amount of minerals or food or whatever it is you have a surplus of for your energy credits. So it's how do I say, like a little makeshift way to kind of balance out your needs. All right, so next we have planets and sectors. So all your planets and all your sectors will show up right here. You have your monthly and source resources and stockpiles, your shared stockpiles. So Shared stockpiles, amount of resources stockpiled for shared usage between sectors. So once your empire becomes really big, it's going to be hard to manage every single planet, every single section of your empire. So you can mark off kind of like taking a pin and drawing it in a circle and assigning that to a certain like governor or mayor or whatever of that area, and they will, it's the AI, so it'll use whatever AI it uses to, govern that area. So this way you don't have to do it. So it's less micromanaging on the player's part. And you have your sector settings here. So if let's just say this is the core sector, this is the person that's in charge of the core sector, but let's just say we weren't in charge of it, right? We can tell them to focus on production, focus on manufacturing, focus on research, or just balance all around. All right, and the AI will adjust accordingly. Say you need to transfer resources either back to your main capital or to another sector. Right here is where you could do it. And you transfer it into your stockpile, and then you would pull out of your stockpile. And then let's say you're feeling really generous and you want to, you want them to work for you, but you just don't want that total control over them. You can make them a vassal, and which they will become your vassals. But you do have to be careful with that, because if they become too powerful, they can rebel against you and claim that space that you gave them their own. So the difference between like a vassal and like a sector leader is that the sector leader can't rebel against you. They work like directly under you, whereas a vassal is more like a separate entity that works for you but can still break away from you if they choose to. Alright, so the expansion planner. Okay, so the expansion planner will show you planets in the area that that you could possibly colonize. So such as right now it's showing Mars, but it says 0% habitability for humans, but it's a barren world. 0 rare deposits. Let's see, planet type not colonizable. So, but it is a terraforming candidate, which is why it pops up right here. We can terraform Mars so that we can live on it. And you'll come across different planets that you can terraform to make them more suitable for you. So any planets that fall within our habitability range will show up right here. And then of course you got your legends up here. Like if you wanted to just only colonizable but not surveyable or not terraformable, then you can click that. If you want items that are that are outside the survey range, then you unclick that. But see, there's nothing really outside the survey range. The only thing we've discovered is Sol. It's the only thing we know right now. So, but again, later on throughout the game, I will, demonstrate how that works more thoroughly. Okay, so next is your policies. So these are policies that you will run throughout your campaign in the game. So, you got your war philosophy, unrestricted wars, liberation wars, defensive wars. So each one of these unrestricted wars, of course, you just go to war whenever you want. Liberation wars, you declare war on other people who are subjugating other people. You want to liberate them from the grasp of, their masters or overseers, right? And defensive wars is where you don't declare war at all. You only defend. So if someone declares war on you, then you would go to war. For our particular empire, we are definitely unrestricted wars. Orbital bombardment, selective and indiscriminate. Now selective, I do believe, means that they only bombard military targets, and it keeps civilian casualties to a minimum. Whereas indiscriminate means you just bomb everywhere. You don't care. And we definitely don't care, so we are definitely going to be indiscriminate. Alright, resettlement. This now allows you to resettle your pops from one planet to another. you can prohibit or allow this. Um, if you prohibit it, then you just won't ever be able to move your pops around. I'm not too sure like where this would become useful. I like moving my pops around where I need them to be. But I always keep it allowed. I never prohibit it. First contact protocols, whether you want to be peaceful or aggressive. We are definitely aggressive. We had a hard life. Okay, our initial border status, whether it be open or closed, and we're definitely going to be closed because we don't like aliens. We don't like other peoples. We keep to ourselves. Okay, our food policy, whether it's strict, dietary balance, or nutritional plentiful. So now each one of these is just, pretty much how fast you consume your food. So pop food upkeep is minus 25% on strict rationing, but it's the growth speed is down and your happiness is down. Balance is just there's no effect or no disadvantage to it. And then nutritional plentiful. The food upkeep is plus 25%, so they're going to eat more food, but your pop happiness is going to go up 5%, and your pop growth speed is going to go up 5%. And so I think as far as that goes, let's go ahead and do that. And so now, just to demonstrate this as well too, whenever you change a policy, it stays that way for 10 years. So you cannot change this back for 10 years. So make sure that if you want that policy changed, that you absolutely want it because you're stuck with it for 10 years and you cannot go back. So yes, we want that. And as you can see, it changed to a red little dot here, meaning that we have changed it and we cannot change it back till January 1st of 2210. So economic policy, we got civilian economic, so consumer goods from jobs are up 15%, but alloys from jobs are down, which helps with pop growth, but hurts military growth. So I don't know if you guys heard that. My phone vibrated. Let me go ahead and turn that off real quick. All right. So that's the civilian economy. Mixed economy, again, nothing happening there. Then military economy is consumer goods are down 25%, but alloys from jobs are up 15%. So it definitely helps us out better because alloys help build our ships and star bases, and we're going to need a lot of those. So we're going to keep it on that. Our trade policy, wealth creation. Each collected trade value earns us one more energy credit. We have consumer benefit, which each collected trade value earns us a half energy credit and a quarter of consumer goods. And marketplace ideas, where trade value gets us a half energy credit and a quarter unity. So now I feel like with this, we might want to go, excuse me, we might want to go with marketplace ideas because energy credits are pretty easy to come by, and as you're gonna see here really quick, we're gonna max that out and be very good with that. And consumer goods, maybe not so much. I think consumer goods or unity would be a good, nice little bonus to us, but I'm gonna lead more towards unity, and I'll show you why once we get over to our traditions. So let's go ahead and change that policy as well too. Okay, robotic workers. Now this is if we want robots to pretty much be our slaves. And we do. We're going to allow it, but you can outlaw it. Population controls. You can prohibit or allow, which is to reproduce and propagate the species is the inalienable right of our citizens. So cannot use voluntary species or planet population controls. This you can use it. So we will allow population controls. So this way we have control over our population. Slavery is allowed. We do like to enslave lower life forms. And let's see, a slave market cost. This is if we prohibit it. It's plus, okay. And then the purge. The purge is allowed too. A purge can be prohibited, displacement only, or allowed. And what the purge does is you pretty much eliminate an entire species. It's genocide is what it is. So if you prohibit it, you can't eliminate an entire species. Excuse me. Displacement only. I'm pretty sure that is where we we pretty much kick them out of our borders. We don't want that race inside of our borders or whatnot. And then allowed is where I said we just wipe them out. We wipe them clean. What does it say? The troublesome and corrupt elements within our empire must be cleansed, lest the rot take root in us all. And of course, the Republic Empire of Humanity, we don't allow corruption. We root it out and we wipe it out. So we are going to allow that. That takes care of our policies. Now heading over to our edicts. Edicts are another thing that'll last, like as it says in the description, it lasts 11 years. Now each of these edicts have different requirements and different bonuses, to them. The only one we have available right now for us is Map the Stars, which is survey speed and anomaly discover chance. So now this costs us 100 influence. We do have 100, but it is something worth getting. So we will pick that up right at the beginning. All right, from edicts are traditions and relics. So I could probably spend a whole episode in just the traditions alone, but I'm going to try to sum this up because we're getting short on time here and I want to be able to finish this. So you have, 7 different types of traditions. Hovering over each one will definitely give you an idea of what it does. As you can read each name, you kind of get an idea of what it can do. So expansion, all these will pretty much help you expand faster with more resources by, starbase influence cost reduction and starbase upkeep reduction. Domination will help you, govern over other people. You're dominating over them. So enforcers reduce crime. Ruler level cap increased by 2, so you become a much stronger ruler. Resource output from workers and slaves increased by 5, so that's domination. Prosperity has to deal with your money and the general happiness of your society. City districts provide 1 additional clerk for jobs. Buildings and districts have their build costs reduced by 10% and build speed increased by 25%. Harmony. So harmony is, more of your spiritual type. Leader lifespan increased by 20 years. While in a defensive war with another empire, ship build speed is increased by 33% and fire rate is increased by 15%. Pop amenities usage. Pop amenity usage is reduced by 10%. Let's see. And then supremacy, has to deal with war, of course. Ship upkeep reduced. Capacity increased by 20%. Ship build cost reduced. Build speed is increased. Fleet command limit is up by 20. Admiral level cap is increased by 2. Adaptability is your ability to adapt with other cultures, other races. So adopting this tradition will lead towards federations and working with others. And then your discovery has to do with your science, research speed and everything that is going to be increased, and scientist level increase. So now every time you complete a tree, so when you first adopt a tradition, you will get an effect with just adopting it. So this one is anomaly research speed increased by 20%. Once you have gotten all 5 of these, you get another one. Adopting all discovery traditions increases your research speed by 10%. In addition, we will unlock 1 ascension perk. So now that ascension perk are these right over here. Now there are a ton of ascension perks, and yes, you can unlock them all, right? And here are the ascension perks right here. And these usually have huge and dramatic changes to the game. Now I'm not going to get into every single one of these, at least not in this episode. Once we, start playing and we get to pick our first one, I will go more in depth into that. So let's move on to our ship designer. So now the ship designer is set to the auto best. If you turn that off, and you can design your own ship as far as what you want. You can unlock different frames for your ships. You have your S, which is your small weapons. Your A's are afterburners. Your G's, I forget exactly what the G stands for, but let's see. Oh, missiles. It seems to be your missiles. So G's are going to be your missiles. And then P's are your point defense. But you can pick different body types, and... Oh, why is this not... Let's see. And you just... Whoops. If we click on that, if you click on the actual S, it'll show you red laser. So we could put 3 red lasers. And it actually does update it right there in real time. I was pretty sure you can rotate around the ship. In here, I keep trying and it doesn't want to let me. Let's see, let's try moving. Can we not move the windows? Okay. But we can zoom out, there we go. So this will give you kind of an update of what your ship looks like. And you can build your ship however you want. And you can see the affected stats right over here. If you don't want to get into all this and learn all this, you can easily just click the auto generate and it'll auto fit the best build for that ship. Alright. And there are a lot more ships and a lot more designs than this. This is just all that we have unlocked at this point. Next is your fleet manager. So this will help manage all your fleets that you have, because you do get a lot of ships throughout this game, and it can be a bit daunting when you're managing all those ships. Alright, now the technology tree, we've kind of already been over the technology and explained that in the first episode, so if you need to know more about that, go ahead and check that out. Factions, we have no factions right now, but as the game progresses, they will start popping up, and they will have their own demands and what they like, and the more a faction likes you, the more influence you will gain, allowing you to do different policies and stuff like that. Now, claims are something a bit new. I haven't played since they put in the claims, so I'm a bit unsure on exactly how they work. But essentially what it seems like to me is like you can make claims on other empires and go to war for those claims. So we'll definitely have to play around with that in this game. Species. This is where you see all the species of your current empire. And with enough technology and research, you can genetically modify your own species or someone else's species and give them an extra trait or two. So that is something that's actually pretty cool. You can also set the rights for each individual species. So, for example, as the human race, we have full citizenships. But if we get another species in here, we might not want to give them full citizenships. And instead, we might want to give them something like residents or slaves or undesirables and make them all homeless. So we will definitely play around more with the rights of other species when we get that. Right now, the default one for the humans, work race, we get full military service, full citizenship. So all this stuff works in our favor. We will definitely take a bigger look into that when we get the chance. Let's see, what do we have? And now our leaders. So this shows us all of our leaders within our empire. Governors, which govern over planets. Scientists, which do the research that we need. Admirals, which govern our fleets. and generals, which govern our armies for ground defenses. And we will start getting more and more and more of these. I think that just about covers everything on this sidebar right here. So again, that'll be the end of this episode. If I missed anything, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. If you want me to talk more specifically about something, add that down there. But if you liked the episode, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button. And I will see you guys another time.